Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Qaisar Hayat, lecturer, Department of English, Qaisar University of Science and Technology. Dear student, we are studying English Code 382 and today is the 16th lecture of our course, that is Research Method in Linguistics. The topic we are studying today is basic research versus applied research. Today we shall try to sort out what are the differences between basic research and applied research. As you know that there are some differences between basic linguistics and applied linguistics. So as well as research is concerned, yes, there are some similarities between these two types of research, but some differences are also there. So in today's lecture, we would try to sort out, we would try to understand, we would try to recognize the differences, and we would try to pinpoint that what type of dissimilarities are there between these two types, and the types are basic versus applied linguistic, applied research. And these two type of research, we would also try to find out some similarities if there. So let's go to discussion agenda. In discussion agenda, first of all, as I said, that we would try to know what is research. After it, applied versus basic research, we would try to understand them in detail, in depth, and function of basic and applied research. What are the functions that both of the type, the basic and applied research function, and characteristic, what are the characteristic of both of the types, advantage of basic research or applied research, as well research purpose and research context, scope of the research, and after the scope, there some similarities between these two. Student, these are the types. Then let's start with the definition, that what is research. Student, we have defined the term research in different prospect, different aspect have been seen. The research is loosely translated as search for knowledge, as we already knew that research is knowing any new idea, any new knowledge, any new piece of discovery on the part of knowledge disciple. So research is knowing something new, recognizing something new, discovering something new in a very systematic way. The term research is defined explicitly as a scientific and systematic approach seeking pertinent information regarding a particular topic. Yes, student, as I said that regarding when you are working in a particular topic, for example, if you are working in linguistics and you are applying a scientific method and you are discovering new knowledges regarding language learning, language teaching, or language speaking, etc., the use of language in different perspective. If you are if you are studying this field and you are doing research in this, definitely you would explore, you would discover new things. So these new things were added into the already treasure of knowledge of that field. Definitely this is one of the service that a researcher can provide to the society. Another point of the topic is that research is an art of scientific investigation whose aim is to get more information. Yes, a lot of information we get today. We are in a better position as compared to our forefathers. New discoveries has been made right now. This is the age of internet. The world has become a global village, but still there are some fields that need to be discovered. There are some fields that need to be owned. There are some fields that need to be investigated. So the example is in front of you that this COVID-19 disease is quite new for the human of 2021. So research has been started and we have reached on the conclusion that vaccine has been developed now. So this way there are many fields which are quite new for the humanity. Even in language and linguistics there can be many fields that still need to be investigated. Systematic way of that research is to be adopted to know new thing about these areas. As a new student, as an energetic young man, young student, as a linguist, you are welcome to the field of research. You do research, prepare your proposal, and go for research because you are young, energetic, powerful, and the future is yours. So do discover, do bring your output of research in front of the world. After what is research, let's see applied versus basic research. Student, applied research is a research methodology that create practical solution for specific problem, while basic research is an approach to research that seeks to expand knowledge in a field of study. This means that applied research is solution driven, while basic research is knowledge specific. This is one of the best definition I can ever search for you to make you understand. This is quite simple. That applied research, as its name indicates, is a research methodology that create practical solution for specific problem. If there is a problem, for example, if there is a problem that a specific region, that in a specific region the students are feeling difficulties in speaking or in learning English, so you have to start your work there and you have to understand the reason, and then you have to devise some methods and methodologies so that practically the student would be able to speak better English or understand better English now. So this is an example of applied research. Applied research actually give you practical solution for specific problem, but as well as basic research is concerned, this approach of the research actually for that it seeks to expand knowledge. To extend knowledge is the area of basic research, and to sort out some practical solution to the problem that is faced by group of people, individual, etc., that is called applied research. This means, student, that applied research is solution driven, while basic research is knowledge specific. In other words, we can say that one field which is called basic research field that expand the area of your theoretical framework, the actual pieces of knowledge that you already have in hand, it expand it toward different direction. It actually extend the area of your existing knowledges. But as well as this this applied research is concerned, it sort out the actual problem, the practical problem that is faced by the community or a group or any other phenomena. So applied versus basic research I have defined in front of you. I hope you have understood this idea. Now, function of basic and applied research. What is the function of these two types of researches? Basic research seeks to advance the frontiers of knowledge by creating new theories or modifying existing ones. On the other hand, applied research is primarily concerned with creating solution to problem by collecting and analyzing empirical data in order to arrive at valid research outcome. Student, as the definitions were different, the fields, one is for basic extension of the existing knowledge, that is basic research, and the applied research is the basic solution to a specific problem and practical way of doing. So same is the function, that basic research actually it seeks to advance to the boundaries of knowledge. It extend the boundaries of knowledge, it expand the boundary of knowledge, it increase the area of knowledge by how? By new theories. Yes, as I said, that theoretical framework has been expanded here. There are some modification in the existing theories, yes, through basic research. If there are some problem in already existing theories, it can be enhanced through basic research. But on the contrary to it, applied research is primarily concerned with creating solution to problem. Practical problem solution is through this applied research, and the collecting of data, for example, then analyzing this data in order to arrive at valid research outcome. So student, function of basic research is quite different from applied research. The function of basic research is to expand the boundaries, to increase the area, but the applied research is actually collecting data, analyzing empirical data, and having a solution for a problem. Now, after these two areas, let's see some characteristic. Applied research is primarily defined by its focus on providing a practical solution to a defined problem, while basic research is primarily defined by its focus on expanding knowledge. In other words, basic research is theory oriented, applied research is practical oriented. Yeah, basic research is theory oriented, theoretical framework has been testified, has been checked, has been increased, but applied research, which is practically oriented, the practical solution has been sorted out. Now, applied research is action oriented and synthetic in nature, while basic research is explanatory and analytical in nature. Basic research is solution specific and primary research and primary concern with the expansion of knowledge and not with the application of research finding, which is the focus of applied research. Research finding is actually the focus of applied, because applied research we have to have a solution for it. But as well as basic research is concerned, as I said, that basic research is solution specific and primarily concerned with the expansion of knowledge. So expansion of knowledge in a field, that is basic, and finding, research finding, and then have a solution of a practical problem, that's the area of applied research. Now, advantage of basic research or applied research. Student, basic research result in the acquisition of new knowledge, and it also expand existing knowledge, while applied research doesn't lead to the acquisition of new knowledge. Applied research only focus on applying knowledge to solve existing problem, hence it is solution specific. Now, student, which research is better? Please, as a researcher, make your mind clear that each type of research has its own merits and its own area to be applied, its own topic to be applied for, and so on. Now, as well as these two areas of research, two types of research, which is basic and applied, are concerned, the basic research actually acquire more knowledge, it expand existing knowledge, but this is not the case with applied research. Applied research is not concerned with expanding, are not concerned with the expansion of knowledge. Applied research actually utilize the existing knowledge to find out, to sort out a solution for a problem. So, basic research has its own function, applied research has its own function. The differences I have clarified here for you, but basic research function is that it increases a lot of stuff, it increases a lot of knowledge through the existing knowledge. So knowledge lover can prefer this basic research or applied research, but the practical people who are, for example, the doctors or others parameter existing in society, yes, for the solution of problem solving, they can adopt the type of research, they can prefer the type of research which is called applied research. Now there is another phenomenon, there is another point, and that is that finding from basic research have been predominantly responsible for breakthrough in different field of study, while finding from applied research are primarily useful for solving specific research problem. Hence, basic research is universal in nature, while applied research is limited in nature. Now, the segregation is that basic research have been predominantly responsible for breakthrough in different field of study, while finding from applied research are primarily useful for solving specific research problem. So we can extract a deduction, and that is the basic research is universal in nature, while applied research is point specific and limited in nature. Basic research can extend the knowledge for all over the world, but as well as applied research is concerned, it would be specific and limited to the issue on which it is working on. So, advantage of applied research over basic research. Now students, some advantage vice versa. The advantage of basic research we have seen. So let's see the advantage of applied research. What is the advantage of applied research? Look, applied research help organization and individual to solve specific problem. Unlike basic research that is simply focused on expanding knowledge without providing solution to the existing problem. This, however, doesn't negate the fact that findings from basic research are useful to prefer solution to problem. Now, applied research, what type of advantage applied research has over basic research? Applied research, actually the main benefits of it is that it gives you result. If a problem is solved, definitely it worked. So if it worked in solving a problem, it has the advantage. I am talking about applied research. Applied research actually help in different organizations when there are different problem. It work on individuals, solve specific issues, problem. But the basic research is basically expanding knowledge. Basic research is not concerned with problem solving. But there is another very important fact that maybe your mind has arisen, and that is that point is that if knowledge is there, definitely applied research would work on the existing knowledge. So one way or another, these both type of research are necessary for each other. So for example, if we want to do an applied research, so from where we would take the basic knowledge, definitely that would be covered by the basic research area, and that is to expand the new knowledges. Because if applied way of research is required, definitely applied way of research would one way or another run on the modern phenomena, modern knowledges that are required through basic research. So interdependent type of phenomena is there that applied research work on the existing knowledges, but as well as the expansion in existing knowledges is concerned, yes, of course, basic research is one of the main source of increasing and expanding the area of existing knowledges. After it, now some more advantages of applied research. Unlike basic research, which is somewhat subjective in its approach, applied research is an objective method of inquiry. Typically, applied research is unbiased because it arrives at outcome by subjecting empirical evidence to standardized scientific procedures. Student, actually, this applied research method is a bit practical, empirical, data collection, analyzing data, and conclusion. So this would be called objective type of studies. Objectively it's not biased, it's not concerned with left and right, it just focus on its work and give you result. As well as basic research is concerned, that is a bit subjective in nature. Yes, all our information is to be included in it, but as well as this research which is called applied is concerned, that is unbiased and that's concerned objectively objectively with the area on which it is applied. Now, purpose. Student, let's know the purpose of these researches, these type of researches. Basic research is driven by curiosity and the need to explore new area of knowledge in different field. On the other hand, applied research is driven by the need to provide answer to specific question in order to solve a problem. Purpose, objective of both the research are different. Yes, basic research is concerned with the need to explore existing knowledge. Why existing knowledges need to be explored, student? There is a question. Can you answer this? The answer to this question is yes, with the passage of time, different phenomena are changing shapes. And if we have a knowledge for a phenomena, it's not necessary that it would be universally always acceptable or always doable. If the shape of phenomena is changing, because this is everywhere variables, everywhere the shapes of, even for example, take the field of medicines. The shapes of the medicine, this diseases has been increasing day by day. Maybe your forefathers were not known about some fact, some diseases that are existing nowadays. So new diseases has been discovered, new cure, new solution to the problem has been discovered. And how? Because with the passage of time, step by step, on each and every age, new discoveries has been made. Clear? So new knowledges has been added to the treasure of knowledge. So basic research is doing its best on its way. But as well as the applied research is concerned, you know that whenever there is a need that's quite sharp to be solved, that's quite necessary to be solved, because the society can't go with this type of problem. The problem solution is necessary. That's why sometimes applied research is given importance. Because if that problem is not solved, what would happen? The humanity would suffer. So, solution wise, objectively, applied linguistics is necessary, and the purpose of applied research is necessary. But as well as the knowledge, treasure of knowledge is concerned, that should not be static. That should be increased on, because with the passage of time, if the area, if the target are on increase, the knowledge should also be increased. So the purpose, both of the purpose have its own importances. The first one is basic is adding more, and applied research is doing more. Now, this means that applied research is primarily concerned with examining empirical evidence for answering, while in basic research, the researcher examines data samples in order to gather more information about them. Such information improve the quality of knowledge of the subject. Student, as I said, that both research purposes are noble. One is applied on increase, for the increase of knowledge, and the other is to apply the knowledge. Now, let's see research context. Student, basic research is conducted in a controlled research environment, such as a laboratory, while conceptual research is conducted in a real life setting, that is not sterile or restricted. The sterile research context in basic research allow the researcher to strictly observe the behavior and characteristic of the research subject. Student, context is the overall situation in which research is done. So basic research is done definitely in a field and a restricted area where the knowledge should be increased on. Only it's possible that the practice for the increasing of knowledge is carried out. But as well as the applied research is concerned, definitely the area of its doing would be where the research is applied for doing. So basic research or the research context would be selected according to the situation. And in applied research, the researcher allowed the dependent and independent variable to freely interact with one another in an unrestricted setting where other variables or third factor may intervene. Student, variables are actually, variable is a term used in research when we are studying on something, that what is the results, that's variable. To extract the result from a phenomena, the phenomena under studies, that for example if we are doing research on some individual, so definitely the number and trend of the individual would be varying, so these are variable. However, we would have a separate lecture on variables, but here as well as this area is concerned, yes, in applied research actually the research allow the dependent and independent variable to freely interact with one another. But as well as the basic research is concerned, now that is in a restricted, in a specified area, for example laboratory. But here in applied research, the researchers allow the dependent and independent variable to freely interact with one another, because we have to extract an outcome, and for the sake of outcome, definitely it's necessary that dependent and independent variables should freely interact with each other. So why they should interact with each other? Because an unrestricted setting was there where other variable or third factor may intervene. So student, this is the research context. After it, there is another point, and that is this allows the researcher to have a broader overview of the reasons, and researcher can arrive at valid and practical solution. In practical research, it's quite necessary that researchers should read at a practical solution and have, because the researcher have a wide and broadened overview of the area, so it's quite necessary that through interacting dependent and independent variables, it's quite necessary that the researcher should reach at a practical solution. Now, scope of research. Student, generally applied research is more limited in scope when compared to basic research. This is because unlike basic research that can be applied to diverse concepts, applied research largely focus on a specific subject, and its research outcome are primarily relevant to the subject. Students, this applied research is concerned with its own specified specific topic on which it's carried out. But as well as the basic research is concerned, that's worldwide, that's wider, in a wider canvas it can be done, because from anywhere you can collect information from any source, from any area. That's a wider context research. So basic research is a wider context. It has a scope, wider scope, but as well as applied research that is limited to the point on which it's done. Now, why? Because it deals with diverse concepts across different subject matter. Basic research is considered a more universal research method than conceptual research. Fundamental research explores knowledge across multiple dimensions in order to gather new information and improve an existing body of knowledge. Yes, of course, basic research actually explore new knowledges, add information into the existing information, and help the society. So after the scope of research, are there similarity between applied and basic research? Student, data gathering method is same in both. Basic and applied research adopt similar data collections process in order to gather relevant data and arrive at the most objective research outcome. After it, intersectionality, yes, that's same. The researcher outcome of basic research often serve as the bedrock for applied research. Inductive and deductive reasoning. Basic and applied research method make use of both inductive and deductive reasoning. Why? Because to support the research hypothesis, in deductive reason, the researcher moves from the idea to observations, while in inductive reasoning, the researcher transit from observation to the idea. So these are the similarities area, but there are some more similarities. Let's see what are these. These are that both the researcher are definitely important types of research. So if they are collecting data, both is necessary in the both fields, and definitely if data is collected so the way that are necessary in a journal way, in a journal reason, both the data collection and later on data processing would be the same. So student, we can conclude in this regard that it is important for researcher to understand the similarity and differences between applied and basic research methods. As highlighted earlier, the major differences between applied and basic research is the purpose of the research, that is what the research is to achieve. Student, in the conclusions, we should keep our motto that no research is bad. Each and every scientific investigation is good. One way or another, it would give a lot of ease to the society in knowing, in solving problem, in knowing knowledge, increasing knowledge, etc. So as a researcher, if you can increase into it, if you can increase new knowledges in the field of linguistics, you are welcome to do basic research. If you are energetic enough to do applied research and you want to satisfy an issue, you want to solve a problem, you are welcome to adopt applied research. So student, as a conclusion, I can say that apart from the purpose of the research, applied and basic research are different based on the research outcome, nature of the research and its context to mention, but a few. However, both research methods adopt similar data gathering process, including observation and interview, in order to arrive at an object outcome. Student, in the last slide at the end, I said that there are some more similarities, and these are mentioned here. That these are interview, questionnaire, etc. are the same tool that are used in both research. As a last and final summing up sentences, as a teacher, I can advise you that you must understand the nature of the issue. If the nature is to increase knowledge, go for basic research. Similarities are there, ease are there are some support you would get from the similarities, but as well as applied research, if there is an issue and you want to address the issue, you want to solve the issue, you want to find out the reason for the issue, then go for applied research. Student, this was all about today's class. Thank you very much for being